folks, and welcome to another episode of Technicational. Now today we're going to be doing the DL1000, the full review of the DL1000. Yes, I know I just got this device. I have a lot of other devices to do, but a lot of people were hoping to see this out as soon as possible, so I'm giving it to you guys. So the DL1000 review, here it is. So the first thing we're going to talk about is design, and I have to say this is a pretty well designed DL phone. You have your 13 megapixel camera at the back with an LED flash. You have your loudspeaker to the left of the camera. At the top of the device you have your headphone jack and a noise cancellation mic. At the bottom of the phone you have your mic and your charging port, your USB charging port. At the front you have your earpiece and your 8 megapixel camera for front selfies. That's a pretty big number for a DL phone. Also on the right of the phone you have your power button, your volume up and down rocker. Now it is to be said that there's nothing on the left side of the phone, everything is on the right. This is kind of a hard thing to get adjusted to, especially if you're coming from a Samsung device where the volume is on one side and the power is on the other. But it takes some getting used to. Another noteworthy design feature is that the capacitive buttons at the bottom of the device are backlit. So you can actually use this device in the dark without any problem whatsoever. Also speaking to design, this is one of the few phones that you will find that have a removable back cover. Yes, it has a removable back cover, but you don't have a removable battery. The battery cannot be replaced or removed. This is quite a bummer. So if the battery goes bad on you, you might have to send it in to Digicel or a technician. You cannot just take out the battery and replace it. You have your SIM card slot and you have your SD card slot. And that's pretty much it for the back of the device. So although the back looks metallic, it is not metallic at all. It's actually plastic. So if you drop this phone, it won't be denting. It will actually just crack the plastic or maybe just scratch the color or the paint off the plastic. It's a win or lose situation depending on how you look at it. But yeah, I prefer plastic because I can't stand dent phones. No, that just doesn't look cool. The front display is not Gorilla Glass. That's not something that you will see on a low-end phone. So I don't know why people would think it would have Gorilla Glass, but it's not Gorilla Glass and it is very susceptible to fingerprints. As you see right here, no matter what I do, I still have fingerprint residues on the screen. So hopefully you might have a cleaning cloth when you're actually walking around with this phone, or it's just going to look smudgy, dirty 90% of the time. So the front display measures 5.5 inch diagonally and it's a 720p display. It's not 1080p and it's not Quad HD. Now this might be something that most people might see as a downside, but I find it as a plus because you can't really see the difference between this and a 1080p screen, and it uses less battery power to perform. So in the end you'll be getting a longer lasting battery on a device that have a 720p display. Since we're on the topic of display, I have to say this 720p display looks amazing. It is sharp, the colors pop, and everything that you play on this just looks good. You watch your favorite anime, your favorite movie, a music video, everything looks good on this display. The daylight, it's kind of dull, but it is visible to do your texting or your calling. But apart from that, I love the display. You will not tell that this is a 720p display. Sometimes I even forget and it looks like a 1080p display because everything is just sharp, very sharp and vivid. Let's move on to some features that the DL1000 has. Now, as soon as you boot up the device, you'll realize that you have 5 icons listed across the lock screen. Plus, you have the camera icon to your lower right, and you have your phone icon to the lower left. And then in the middle, you have your lock icon. Now, you can actually access direct applications from the lock screen. If you double tap on any of these 5 items right here, you go straight to that app. So let's try going straight to the calculator app. And it's simple as that. A feature that I was impressed with is when you actually just start up the device. When you just start this device, it gives you a list of applications that you can choose to download before you start using the device. Now, I thought it would be using your credit, but when I started this thing up, I didn't have any credit on my SIM card, but it was possible to download and install all the apps that I selected at the beginning of the setup. I don't know how Digicel is doing this, but it is really cool to know that you can get certain apps for free without using your credit at the start and setup of the DL1000. Speaking of Digicel, you have a Digicel folder dedicated to Digicel apps. You have Loop, you have Loop Trade, Digicel Sport Max, Digicel Top Up, and Digicel Space, which acts like your OneDrive or your Google Drive. So you can store things on a cloud-based service that is provided by Digicel. I didn't even know Digicel had a service like that. Another noteworthy feature that I should mention is that the DL1000 has the ability to play radio. Yes, I know a lot of people don't use this function, but I don't care. I listen to my radio, I listen to Fire, I listen Zip, I listen to all the good stations. Another feature I should mention, because a lot of people keep asking me about it, is that yes, the DL1000 has the ability to screenshot anything that is on the screen, and it's quite simple. All you have to do is press the power button and the volume down button at the same time. Now let's move on to camera quality. Yes, this is what can make or break a product for some people, because people take photos. You want to put your photos on Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. Now, the front camera is 8 megapixel and the back camera is 13 megapixel. Now, I always tell people the amount of megapixel a phone has doesn't actually tell you how good the quality of the picture is. Megapixel is just about size, not about quality of the image. Now, seeing that it has an 8 megapixel front camera, most people will automatically think the front camera is better than something that is 2 megapixel. So, here what? This is what we did to make sure you can compare how the front and the back camera is in real life compared to other phones. So we have 2 phones doing the same photos at the front, same photos at the back, and we're going to put it up on the screen. You tell me which one is which. Now the 2 phones are this, the DL1000 and the Note 4. Not the Note 5, not the Note 5, but the Note 4. So you tell me. Let's go. It should be noted that the DL1000 has a slight lag before it takes the photo, which is kind of annoying if you're trying to catch something in action. By the time you press the picture button, there's a slight lag before it actually takes the photo. So if the person is in action, when you take the photo, it will be blurry. Also, the camera has 30 megapixels, but when you're video recording with this camera, it doesn't state if it's 720p, 1080p, or even if it's just standard SD. You just have medium, fine, high quality. What kind of quality is this? Don't know what it is, but you have seen what the quality of the video is, and it's recording in 3GP, which is an old format for phones. It's not MP4. This phone records in 3GP. I don't know why. So on the topic of cameras, I have to say, this is the first DL phone that has touch to focus. This is a much needed feature, because when you usually take a photo with a DL phone, it usually just randomly takes the photo and doesn't emphasize what you're trying to take a photo of. So now you can actually point to what you want to highlight in the photo, and it will maximize that point so that looks better than the rest of the picture. So one amazing feature I found in the camera app on the DL1000 is time-lapse. Now for those who don't know what time-lapse is, it's actually a way of recording a very lengthy video, but when you play it back, it plays back in a matter of minutes. So you can actually record a sunset, you can record the moon going down, and people can actually watch it in mere minutes. Now to find this time-lapse in the camera, just go to settings and head to the video recording tab. Now you have time-lapse and you have seconds, 1 second to 10-second intervals. Now I can tell you, 10-second intervals, the video will look up pretty much choppy. It's best to stick with 1 second intervals. It actually looks more natural when you're using the time-lapse. And if you don't know what I'm talking, here's an example right here. This is a 10-minute video, and look how long it takes to watch it. Pretty nice feature, isn't it? So now let's move right into performance. Yes, this is a next area that will make people buy or don't buy a phone. Now, in terms of performance, let's get certain figures out the way. We have a SD card slot to expand the memory, and we also have 8 gigs of internal memory that you can save stuff to. Also, you have 1 gig of RAM to work with and a quad-core processor to operate the whole entire thing that is running at 1.3 gigahertz. Now when you put all of that in perspective, it sounds good on paper. So the Digicel DL1000 scores 23,833 on this benchmark app, which lands it, let's see where the ranking is. Okay, way down there. Yeah. I can't pretty that up. So the DL1000 is like way below all the top names in power. Yeah, seriously, I can't pretty that up. In real life though, I have not seen this device slow down even once. Right now, the device is filled to the brim, only have 2 megabytes free because I have some games on it, and it is running perfectly. No problems whatsoever. Now the 5.5 inch display is huge, and it's a good display to watch videos on or play game. You have the right view for almost any media that you want to use. Okay, to be honest people, it's a tad bit slower than how it was on my Note 4. I have to say, it's just a little bit slower. But it's not unbearable, that's the thing. But you can see that it's a bit slower than normal. When it comes to music, the DL1000 plays almost anything. But what I have a problem with is the fact that the loudspeaker shouldn't be called a loudspeaker. It's not that loud. Yes, it's adequate to hear it ringing, but it's not as loud as most phones are. Hold on then, 8 gig it's up on the box. Dave, your teeth 4 out of the 8 of the gig? But no, you ain't my use. Your teeth milk out of coffee, you know. There's one small problem that I actually figured out, and this is it. While using the phone, putting on some movies, I realized that I maxed out the memory quite quick for 8 gigs until I actually realized it's actually 4 gigs they give you free out of the 8. Let me repeat that. Yes, it is 8 gigs, but you only get 4 gigs out of that 8 to use for internal storage. Why put the 8 here? I don't know. Maybe it's a marketing strategy. Now when it comes down to everything, performance, camera, those things are neglectable if you have a phone that lasts a long time when it comes to battery life. If it's one thing I'm impressed with, is the battery life for this phone. It's amazing. I got this phone fully charged and I was using it not for 1, nor 2, nor 3 days, but 5 days before it actually died. I wasn't running data, I was running Wi-Fi, so that's a part of the reason. But even with my Note 4, I couldn't get 5 days running Wi-Fi only. But the downside to that, people, is that the darn thing takes not 1, not 2, but 3 hours to fully charge. Can you believe that? I can't get used to that. 3 hours to fully charge the phone. Yo, don't charge. Oh, crap. So in closing, folks, all I have to say is that using this device for a week, I can tell you, I didn't actually miss my Note 4, except for the fact that I couldn't take quick pictures on the go for anything that I was doing, but everything else was quite acceptable. I've liked the weight of the phone and it feels just like a Note 4 in the pocket, and it is snappy and it responds to everything. I can watch my movies, big enough screen to watch the movies, and everything just looks good. The camera is the only part that is missing. Yeah. So should you buy the DL1000? Well, as soon as I get the price, I'll tell you if it's worth it or not. Now, thank you guys for watching, and again, if it wasn't for you guys subscribing, commenting, viewing my videos, I wouldn't be able to do this. Thank you guys, and if you haven't subscribed as yet, please do so I can continue to do these stuff. Until then, guess what, people? Peace. Well, at least you know thief the notification light. Hold on there. White a blink, white alone. Dog, your thief the color.
Yo, you know, so the next time you come in and the shit by your computer. Hey, but I see how you're edit when the shit by your computer. Boy.